Hare Krishna, dear devotees, Anvat Pranam, Jai Shri Prabhupada. Please accept my humble obeisances. Thank you so much for joining on the divine appearance day of Lord Narsimha. Today is Narsingha Chaturdashi and we are all celebrating. So it's a good day to continue our Narsimha-Prahlad Katha. We'll say some prayers, our Mangalacharan prayers to invoke the auspiciousness and to invoke presence of Narsingadev, Prahlad Maharaj and all our gurus and acharyas and get their blessings. Om Ajnana-timirandhasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadkamlam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Satam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute तप्त कांचना गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमति भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी इति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघायते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानंद माधवं कृष्ण चैतन्य ईश्वरम् हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 रामा राम राम हरे हरे हरि बोल. Thank you everyone for joining on this wonderful occasion. We'll say some nursing invocation mantras also. So this is the mantra we recited last time also. This is coming from Bhagavatam, 5th canto. It's called a Bij mantra for Narsingadev. And these are the things that a devotee asks from Narsingadev when praying. So let's say this. If you want to mute, that's fine. If not, chant on your own. Om Namo Bhagavate Narsimhaya Namah Tejase Avir Bhava Vajranakha Vajradamshtra Karmishayana Dande Tamo Grasa Grasa Om Swaha Abhyam Atmani Ishta Shama. And then we'll say these verses. You can say together if you want. Shri Narsimha Jai
Narsimha Jai Jai Narsimha Praladesha Jai
Padma Mukha
Padma Vrinda Ugram
Viram
Veeram
Mahavishnu
Jwalantam
Jwalantam
Sarvatomukham
Narsimha
Narsimha Bhishanam
Narsimha
Bhadram
Mrityurnamamyaham.
Bold. And this verse, I can recite this. It's a little different meter. Satye kuladina sadatya samaishmihurdvamartya kritis Tretayam dasakandharam paribhavan rameti nama kriti Gopalan paripalayan vrajapure bharam haran dvapare Gauranga priya kirtana kali yuge chaitanya nama prabhu. So this verse, I think the other two verses we did last time. This verse is a very beautiful verse, which is saying that Supreme Lord, how he assumes different forms to engage in different relationships with his devotees. Supreme Lord, who assumed the form of a half man, half lion in the Satyayug to cure a dreadful disease that had devastated the Daityas. So they're talking about Hiranyakashipu here. And who, appearing as Rama, conquered the 10-headed Ravan in the Treta Yuga. and who removed the burden of the earth in Dwapar Yuga and protected the cowherd men of Rajpur, will be the Lord by name Chaitanya in the Kali Yuga. He will have a golden form and he will take pleasure in chanting the Lord's holy names. So this is actually predicting, this verse is predicting Gauranga, our Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who comes in Kali Yuga and is none other than Krishna himself. So the same form that comes as same Lord that comes in the form of half man, half lion, Narhari, or Narsingadev in Satyuga, same who comes as Ram in Dwapar in Treta Yuga and Krishna in Dwapar Yuga is none other than Lord Gauranga, our Priya, our beloved Gauranga in Kali Yuga, and who will take pleasure in chanting of the Lord's holy names. And so it's none other than the Supreme Lord, same as Narsingadev, who's set this mood of chanting for Kali Yuga, that we should be chanting the Lord's names. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So these names are chanted in every yuga by different devotees who want to please the Lord. And Narsingadev actually set this mood starting from Satyug to Kalyug. And then we were talking about, so I'm just going to review very, very quickly just a couple things so that everybody's on the same page. Nirbhay Prabhu, do you see you don't see the presenter view, right? You just see the slideshow?
Yes.
Okay. So we talked about how the story of Narsimha-Prahlad and Hiranyakashipu comes in Srimad Bhagavatam, 7th canto. And 7th canto is the 7th book of Bhagavad Puran, या फिर Srimad Bhagavatam बोलते हैं जिसको. So this is the topmost Puran. This is called the Amal Puran. Amal मतलब जो spotless होता है, जिसमें कोई मल नहीं होता, कोई contamination या कोई impurity नहीं होती. It is completely pure. It is the spotless Puran. And it is considered the topmost book, topmost Puran, which gives us the love of Godhead. So this is considered Granthavatar, or book incarnation of the Lord. And in that 7th canto, the whole story comes. Of course, there are Narsingha Puran also, and then other places also, Vishnu Puran, where Narsingha's story is mentioned. This whole pastime is mentioned by the Supreme Lord. But Srimad Bhagavatam is the most revered one for us, where the whole book is dedicated to this beautiful exchange that Narsingadev had. So it is said that we should keep reading Bhagavatam every day. Be a sage, page by page. Every day read a page. So be a sage, page by page. And before you get too old, escape the cage. तो इससे पहले कि इतना बुढ़ापा आ जाए कि कुछ आंख से दिखाई नहीं दे, कुछ पढ़ नहीं सको, read Bhagavatam every day. So that's the mood of this parampara, this tradition that we're following, where we follow the scriptures, especially Srimad Bhagavatam, the spotless Puran, and engage in hearing about the Nam, Roop, Gun, Leela of Krishna in various forms and of his devotees. So with that, we'll chant some Bhagavatam invocation prayers also. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo
Bhagavate
Vasudevaya.
Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudiriyet Nashtaprayeshva Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavad Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namah. Hare Krishna. So that verse says, Nashta Praeshva Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavad Seva. Daily you should do the Bhagavad Seva, like Seva of the Bhagavad Puran. And Bhaktir Bhakti Naishtiki. And Naishtiki matlab gradually the pure devotional service will develop in one's heart. So it's not something that you do once in a while. It's something that you should do daily. Like जैसे हम daily shower लेते हैं, daily teeth को brush करते हैं, daily you eat food, right? So daily we do things to nourish ourselves, to clean ourselves. Similarly, Srimad Bhagavatam is for our spiritual cleaning and spiritual nourishment. And so we should do this daily as well, just like we do so many other things daily on a disciplinary basis. तो शुरू में discipline की तरह करना पड़ेगा, लेकिन बाद में इतनी habit हो जाएगी, just like, think about brushing your teeth. Now you don't have to think so much about brushing your teeth. You just do it, right? So धीरे धीरे इतनी आदत हो जाएगी, इतना मजा आएगा, you will enjoy the nectar of Srimad Bhagavatam so much that you wouldn't be able to go without it. So initially we have to do things on a disciplinary daily basis, make it a routine and kind of force ourselves and try to cultivate the mind to do this. But once you start doing this, reading Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam daily, then you start getting the taste for this nectar, and eventually it will be hard to give it up. When you can get addicted to the things of this world so easily, right? It's not hard to get addicted to Lord's pastime. It's actually very easy. It happens spontaneously. So we'll start. So we did this. The 7th canto started by Parikshit Maharaj asking a question from Shukdev Goswami. And he asked, why is Lord partial towards demigods when he's supposed to be an impartial Lord? So Shukdev Goswami explained that Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Ye yatha mam prapadyante, Bhagavad Gita 4.11, Ye yatha mam prapadyante tam satheva bhajamyaham. Whoever approaches me in whatever mood, that's how I reciprocate with them. So demigods are approaching to me in a very worshipable mood, in a very subservient, servitude mood. So I reciprocate with them like that. They want my love, they want my affection, they want to oblige me, they want to please me. But demons are approaching me in a very envious mood. They want to harm me, they want to compete with me, they want to overpower me, they want to overrule my authority. So then I reciprocate with them in that mood. I give them that rasa. So ye yatha mam prapadyante, right? So when that question was answered, then Parikshit Maharaj, then Shukdev Goswami said, I'll tell you a story that happened at the time of Rajsuya Yajna. And he told a story of Shishupal getting killed. And he said Shishupal and Dantwakra, the two brothers, were actually none other than Jay and Vijay. They were the devotees of the Lord. They were the gatekeepers to Vaikuntha. वो वैकुंठा के द्वारपाल थे और उनको कृष्णा ने मारा और मार के they went back to their eternal abode of Krishna. So this conversation is happening between Narad Muni and Yudhishthir Maharaj at the Rajsuya Yajna. Because Yudhishthir Maharaj is very curious. Why did Shishupal, his spirit, why the spirit soul entered into Krishna's body? We understand Lord is impartial, but this was too much. This is too much mercy by the Lord. Why is he such an envious person, such a corrupt, such a demonic person? He is entering into Krishna's body. So then Narad Muni explains that Shishupal is none other than one of the Jay and Vijay. And actually this was the benediction given to them that they will at least be killed by the Lord. And so he's killed by the Lord and he's gone back to Lord's abode. And you remembered how the Jay Vijay story unfolded, how the four Kumaras cursed them and then they felt compassion for them. They said, you will take 3 births only on the material world.
Give me tea.
So, and then once they were cursed, then 4 Kumaras felt compassion and told them that you will be killed by the Lord and so that you will get liberation and go back to the Godhead. Fir we heard about Hiranyakashipu, how he was gone for tapasya, and meanwhile Narad Muni came and got Kayadhu, his wife, and she was pregnant with Prahlad Maharaj, and he told Hari Katha to Prahlad and made a great devotee out of Prahlad, the child of Hiranyakashipu, who was in the womb of Kayadhu, listening to this story. So all this is up to date for everybody, right? This is just a backstory that I'm again narrating. Is that good? Can I get a thumbs up? Everybody's on the same page for this story? Okay, good. All right. So then you remember that Hiranyakashipu asked Prahlad Maharaj, what did you learn? And Prahlad Maharaj, gave him 2 very beautiful answers that he had heard from Narad Muni on what we should do in this human life. We should not waste it like Hiranyakashipu is wasting. And actually, he's so entangled, he's so power hungry, he's so hungry after this name, fame, position that he should give up this entanglement and go to forest. And then second time when he asked Hiranyakashipu as Prahlad Maharaj. So Prahlad Maharaj said that you should engage in 9 processes of devotional service, and that is the perfection of life. And when Hiranyakashipu heard this, he threw Prahlad off his lap and told his soldiers to kill Prahlad, right? Then we talked about the misplaced affection in this world, how easily our relationships break in this world. As long as people are serving us, they are fulfilling our desires, they are gratifying our senses, they are fulfilling our goals. We are happy with them, but as soon as our desires, our senses are not fulfilled by them, then we ditch them, we condemn them, like here Hiranyakashipu did. So Dhruva also, actually, Dhruva Maharaj is also similar example from our scriptures where same thing happened, right? His father and stepmother shunned him, and Dhruva Maharaj realized that this is not the proper place for me. This is not where I will get the love and affection that I deserve. So he asked his mother, what should I do? And his mother said, you should go to forest. Same thing. She said the same thing that Prahlad told Hiranyakashipu, you should go to the forest and seek Vishnu. And Vishnu is the only one who can fulfill all your desires. So, basically that is the problem in this world right now, that we are placing our trust, our hopes, our allegiance in wrong people. We are trusting wrong people for our maintenance, for our protection, and for true love, right? And all this propaganda in the world, all these Hollywood and Bollywood movies that we see, we keep thinking that our loved ones can protect us or maintain us, or there is one true love in this world, right? There is one true love, and there is a way to find them. But actually, there is one true love, but we have left them. We have decided to go away from them, and that is the love of Godhead. So this is what Bhagavad Puran, Srimad Bhagavatam does. It gives us the love of Godhead. That is the one true love that each spirit soul should be hankering for. Otherwise, he's the only one that is absolute. He's the only one that is free of any errors, that does not make any mistakes, right? He's the only one that can actually fulfill all our desires that we want. But we are placing our hopes in the wrong people who are error prone, who can make mistakes. Just aapka spouse hai, they are also just an ordinary jiva. They will make mistakes. They have their own desires. They have their own tendencies and their own goals in life. So, and they may not align with yours. And so we get these expectations that we want to fulfill from them, but it may not be fulfilled because they're also error prone. They can also err just like any other human, right? To err is human. So you should place your allegiance, your trust in maintenance, in protection, in love from one absolute truth, the Supreme Lord himself. That's why he's called absolute truth. He's absolute, everybody else is relative. तो यहाँ पर हमने खत्म किया था. So we are coming to the point where Narsingadev appeared. Chapter 8 was titled Lord Narsingadev slays the king of the demons. This was the chapter where we finished last time. So Hiranyakashipu was getting very confused, very annoyed at Prahlad. He was getting very bewildered. He's thinking, why is this Prahlad not getting afraid of me? Why everybody's scared of me? How come this little boy who has no power, he's not known anywhere, no name, fame, no money, no strength, no soldiers at his behest, how come he is not scared of me when everybody else is scared of me? So he asked Prahlad, what is the source of your strength? So Prahlad told him, my source of strength is the same that is your source of strength. I'm getting the strength from the same person that you are getting your strength from. So without him, no one can get any strength. Look at this verse. He says, without him, no one can get any strength, whether it's a moving, non-moving, superior, inferior, even Lord Brahma. Everybody is controlled by the strength of one supreme personality of Godhead, one supreme being. That is why he's called Bhagwan, right? Bhagwan ka kya matlab hota hai? Who can tell me what is the meaning of Bhagwan? We use this word very commonly. What does word Bhagwan mean? Who can answer?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. So nice.
Mataji, there is if we divide the Bhagwan into Bhag and Van, so Bhag is meant by the qualities, the good qualities, and Van means who possess those qualities. So Lord has 64 qualities. Shri Krishna has 64 qualities, and And then because he possessed them, that's what he called Bhagwan.
Hari
He's
Bol.
the thank you,
Thank you,
Mataji.
Mataji. Wonderful. I didn't realize you had joined. Hari Bol. Thank you
Hari
for
Bol.
joining us. So yes, Bhagwan means, like Mataji said, Bhag means all opulences, all qualities. So Krishna is the possessor of all. जिसे हम बोलते हैं ना धनवान. धनवान कौन होता है? वान का मतलब possessor. धनवान जिसके पास सारी धन है. ज्ञानवान जिसके पास ज्ञान है. बलवान जिसके पास strength है, बल है. रूपवान जिसके पास रूप है. ऐसे ही भगवान means जिसके पास सारी opulences या सारी qualities हैं. So that is called Bhagwan. So Bhagwan has all the qualities. So anything that you're getting in this world, you're getting from him only. So if anybody is very proud of their beauty or their money or their fame or their renunciation or their knowledge or their prowess, their talents, their strength, whatever, everything is coming from their talents, whatever, it's all coming from Krishna only. So there is a verse that comes in Vishnu Puran which says, Aishwarasya samagrasya viryasya yashashriya jnana vairagyaschaiva shannam bhaga iti anganam. That these are called bhaga, or the qualities. So Krishna is the possessor of unlimited qualities, of which 64 are the most prominent that we are able to relish. And then Prahlad says, then Hiranyakashipu gets very annoyed when he hears this. So he says, you always describe the supreme being other than me. So you remember how we talked last time that Hiranyakashipu was so knowledgeable, he knew actually all the philosophy. But look how he's acting here, how he's talking here, like a foolish person. He's saying, you always describe a supreme being other than me. कि मेरे अलावा भी क्या कोई supreme power है? तुम हमेशा ऐसे बात करते हो. Where is he? If he is everywhere, then why is he not present before me in this pillar? If you have the 7th canto open with you, you will see that in the verse between 7.8.12 to 14, he starts hitting that pillar very, very strongly, very, very fiercely in anger with his fist. And when finally the pillar cracked, from within the pillar came a fearful sound which cracked the covering of the universe. Oh, my dear Yudhishthir, this sound reached even the abode of the demigods, like Lord Brahma. And when the demigods heard it, they thought, oh, now our planets are being destroyed. So the very loud sound, very fearful sound came that appeared to crack the covering of this universe. Itni loud sound thi crack ki tarah. So this is the appearance of Narsingadev. So this is where the Narsingadev Bhagwan has appeared. Bhagwan Narsingadev ki jai. So this is today's appearance day. So we'll relish the rest of the appearance from here. Let's take some we'll take some lessons, we'll take some prayers of Prahlad Maharaj, some teachings, some differences between Hiranyakashipu and Prahlad, and see what we can learn from this pastime. So this is Narsingadev, who appeared very, very fierce, Karal Roop, very, very glorious form, full of all glories, Shodash Bahu Roop, 16-armed form, very fierce looking, red eyes, fierce teeth, Bhayankar, Bibhats Roop, बहुत ही scary. Itna scary ki even the demigods were scared. And you remember that famous verse that comes when Narsingadev Bhagwan appeared, was that Satyam vidhatum nijbretya bhashitam vyaptim cha bhuteshvakhileshu chatmana adreshyatatya adbhutrupamudvahan stambhe sabhayam namrigam namanusham. That to keep the word of his devotees, of his servants, correct? This wonderful form came out of the pillar in the courtroom in the Sabha of Hiranyakashipu, Stambhe Sabhaya, which looked like half man, half lion, na Mrigam na Manusham, which was neither a full man nor a full animal. It was half animal or half lion and half man. So this wonderful form Supreme Lord took just to keep the word of his devotees correct. And we talked about various devotees whose words Lord kept correct, kept made true by coming out in a form like this. So, and in Bhagavad Gita also Krishna says, in Srimad Bhagavatam, actually many places Krishna says that, I protect my devotees, right? I keep their word. actually in Bhagavad Gita chapter 9, Krishna says in 9.31, he says, Shipram bhavti dharmatma shashvat shantim nigacchati kaunteya pratijanahi name bhakta pranashyati. In Bhagavad Gita, we should read actually Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, because so many promises Krishna has made that when you read those promises of Krishna ने हमें इतने वचन दिए हैं कि when you read those vachan, those promises of Krishna to his devotees, you feel very inspired. Your faith will increase, your bhav, your affection, your surrender, your humility towards Krishna will increase. That, oh, Krishna is so wonderful that he is giving me all these promises. Like in this verse that I just recited, 9.31, Krishna says, Kaunteya pratijani, oh Arjuna, declare Name bhaktya pranashyati, that my devotee never perishes. Such a strong statement. मेरे devotee का कभी fall down नहीं हो सकता, कभी they can never be lost, they can never perish. So here Hiranyakashipu is trying very hard to destroy Prahlad. He did so many things. कभी सांप के पिट में डाल दिया, कभी माउंटेन से फेंक दिया, कभी मैड एलिफेंट्स के आगे डाल दिया to be trampled by them, कभी होलिका की गोद में रख दिया to be burnt by the fire, but nothing could hurt him. So Krishna has promised this. Shipram bhavti dharmatma shashvat shantim nigacchati. So if you understand this one point, you will get shashvat shanti. Shashvat matlab eternal peace. If you understand that my protector, my maintainer, my worshipable Lord, my well-wisher is Krishna, then you will get eternal peace, because then we have nothing to be afraid of. We have nothing to be fearful of. Otherwise, in this material world, there are so many anxieties at every turn, whether it's personal life, professional life, country, community, in the world, sometimes war, sometimes terrorism, sometimes gun violence, so much going on. Sometimes calamities, right? Disasters, natural disasters, so many things going on. But Krishna says, Name bhaktya pranashyati. So you just surrender to Krishna and you will get peace. These things, these problems of the world, people scare themselves. They read this news every day and they scare themselves and each other. Ye ho gaya, dunya mein wo ho gaya. But no, whatever Krishna will do for you, it will be for your best, because he knows the best for you. So Shashvat Shantim Nigachati. So you will become fearless, you will become anxiety-less. So this is the point to understand that Krishna did that just for his devotees' word to be proven correct. Then what happened? So now Narsimha-Dev came and the fight started between Narsimha-Dev and Hiranyakashipu. Now, point to be noted here, remember that Hiranyakashipu is one of the Jay and Vijay, right? So Hiranyakashipu is actually engaging also, every jiva is engaging with the Lord in a unique emotion, right? In a unique form, he is also exchanging a relationship with the Lord. And what is he engaging in? In वीर रस. हम बोलते हैं ना उग्रम वीरम महाविष्णु. तो कभी कभी कृष्णा को भी लड़ाई का मन होता है, कभी कभी भगवान को भी लड़ने का मन होता है. तो भगवान से लड़ने के लिए भी एक बहुत ही वर्दी ओपोनेंट चाहिए होता है, एक बहुत ही स्ट्रॉन्ग ओपोनेंट चाहिए होता है, right? So then his devotees like Jay and Vijay came as these worthy opponents in the form of Ravan and Kumbhakaran and Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksh and Shishupal, right? Because they are worthy opponents. They're very strong. They're very austere people actually, who did a lot to even become that great, that worthy, that Lord will come to kill them. Right? So ये वीर रस में exchange कर रहे हैं with Narsimha-Dev. They're exchanging वीर रस. So Hiranyakashipu and Narsimha-Dev will have a long fight now. Actually, the fight lasted a long time. So then Hiranyakashipu, he started fighting with Narsimha-Dev. He understands that this is Supreme Lord, but he's still thinking that he can defeat him. So he started fighting with him. And Narsimha-Dev के लिए वो क्या है हिरण्यकश्यपु? It's nothing like a rat and a cat की fight, right? So cat क्या करती है? Rat के साथ मजे लेती है. Sometimes she will capture the rat, then she will let it go. ठीक है? Because she likes the chase. It's the chase that's the fun, right? कभी पकड़ लिया फिर छोड़ दिया. तो chase में जो मजा आता है, that is the thrill for the Lord. That is the veer ras that Lord is enjoying. So what he does, he captures Hiranyakashipu, then he lets him go. And Hiranyakashipu is scared and he's running everywhere. Then he comes back, gathers his strength and tries to fight with Narsingh again. So like that, this chase is going on between the two. And for a moment, Narsimha-Dev will let him hit. him, will let Hiranyakashipu hit him. So he will think, the king will think that, oh, maybe I can defeat him. He'll get false confidence. तो इस वर्ष में देखो लिखा है कि जब Hiranyakashipu was freed from the hands of Narsingadev, he falsely thought that Lord was afraid of his prowess. कि शायद भगवान ये मेरे से डर गए हैं. So then after taking a little rest, he took up his sword and shield and again attacked the Lord with great force. तो ऐसे बीच में इसको छोड़ देते थे, फिर पकड़ लेते थे. कभी वो डर जाता था, कभी वो. So Narsingadev is always just laughing and just very, very loud, crackling voice. When he's laughing, you know, he's roaring. So look at this, making a loud, shrill sound of laughter. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayan, who is so extremely strong and powerful, captured Hiranyakashipu, who was protecting himself with his sword and shield, leaving no gaps open. With the speed of a hawk, Hiranyakashipu moved, sometimes in the sky and sometimes on the earth. So Narsingadev to मजे ले रहे हैं, उनके लिए this is a क्रीड़ा. भगवान के जितने भी pastimes होते हैं, if you read Bhagavatam, you will see they refer to as क्रीड़ा. इसलिए हम उनको pastimes बोलते हैं या लीला बोलते हैं. So उनके लिए खेल है, ये क्रीड़ा है कि जिसमें वो हिरण्यकश्यप को कभी पकड़ते हैं, कभी छोड़ते हैं. फिर उन्होंने क्या किया, बहुत जोर जोर से हंसने लगे. And Hiranyakashipu, look, with his eyes closed because of fear of Narsingadev's laughter, he's sometimes jumping up in the sky, sometimes coming down to earth like that. So this ferocious, this very long and very ferocious fight is going on between the two. And finally, this verse comes in chapter 8. As a snake captures a mouse, or Garuda captures a very venomous snake, Lord Narsingadev captured the Hiranyakashipu. So finally, he decided to end the fight. He captured, जैसे कि कोई snake mouse को पकड़ लेता है या गरुड़ snake को पकड़ लेते हैं, like that. He captured Hiranyakashipu, and Hiranyakashipu was so strong he could not be pierced even by the thunderbolt of King Indra. Remember that Hiranyakashipu had become so strong that all the demigods were under his employ right now. They were serving him as servants. उसने हिरण्यकशिपु आंख पलक झपकाता था, अपनी आईब्राउ रेस करता था, तो उसके सामने डेमिगॉड जाके, 4 डेमिगॉड जाके खड़े हो जाते थे उसकी सेवा करने. He had changed the seasons around. He had changed the rules of Mother Nature. कि कैसे rules change कर देते कि सर्दियों में उसको फ्रूट, ऐसे फ्रूट मिल रहे हैं, लाइक जूसी मैंगोस खाने को मिल रहे हैं. कभी out of the season rain हो रही है, like that. He had changed the seasons. He had changed the laws of the material nature. So, and he was tormenting demigods. He was using them for menial services of his own. So in this way, he had become so strong. And even King Indra's thunderbolt, Vajra, could not pierce the chest of Hiranyakashipu, right? But finally, Lord captured him and put him on his lap and placed the demon on his lap, supporting him with his thighs. You can read this verse. Supporting him with his thighs in the doorway of the assembly hall, the Lord very easily tore this demon to pieces with the nails of his hand. So with his Vajranakha, he tore the chest of thunderbolt-like chest of Hiranyakashipu. And where did he do this? On his lap, in the doorway, which was neither inside nor outside, lap, which was neither sky nor earth nor water, with his nails, which was not a weapon, in this Narhari Roop, which was not created by Brahmaji. In this way, and it was a dusk, which was neither day nor night. In this way, he utilized his so in this way, you know, Hiranyakashipu had utilized so much intelligence. उसने सोचा कि मैं ब्रह्मा जी को किसी तरीके से उनसे ये वरदान ले लूंगा that I can become immortal, right? He wanted to become immortal. So in a roundabout way, somehow I will get this boon of immortality by using my intelligence. So he used his intelligence to basically become immortal. But the conclusion is that the Lord is more cunning. Lord is a bigger cheat than the biggest of the cheats possible. And so Lord is more cunning than Hiranyakashipu himself. And so he took this form and he kept the promise of Brahmaji intact while still killing Hiranyakashipu and delivering all the demigods from his torture. And then he sat down on his throne and he garlanded himself with this, with his insides. So then there are some verses which we'll quickly go through because I want to come to some lessons. So then Narsingadev was still very angry. Okay, so he has killed Hiranyakashipu. He's still very angry. He's still roaring. He's still very, very fierce. So so this is how he looked like. The hair on Narsingadev's head shook the clouds and scattered them here and there because he was so tall. It looked like his hair were touching the clouds and the clouds were getting dispersed with his hair. His glaring eyes stole the effulgence of all the luminaries in the sky. Luminaries matlab like sun, stars, moon, all the celestial bodies that shine. So he had stole the effulgence of these luminaries. His breathing agitated the seas and oceans. Because of his roaring, all the elephants in the world began to cry in fear. So imagine, this was the mood of Narsingadev right now, very, very fierce mood. Manifesting full effulgence and fearsome countenance, Lord Narsimha, very angry, and he found no contestant to face his power and opulence. He was still hungry. Narsingadev still wanted to fight more. He wanted to take out his anger on somebody because somebody had dared to insult his dearest devotee. Somebody had dared to torture, to punish, to inflict pain on his devotee, and he was still angry about this. So he's come, this is very Ugra form. This is Ugra Narsimha. This is a very, very Karal roop, a dangerous roop of Narsingadev, who's very, very ferocious right now. So, and he has no contestant in front of him because everybody is hiding. He found nobody to fight with him. Then he sat down, so read the verse, then sat down in the assembly hall on the throne of the king. Because of the fear and obedience, no one could come forward to serve the Lord directly. Even उनको serve करने के लिए, उनसे उनके दंडवत करने के लिए, प्रणाम करने के लिए, फूल माला चढ़ाने के लिए, कुछ भी करने के लिए लोग सामने नहीं आ पा रहे थे because they were so scared. Then Bhagavatam describes very beautifully, Bhagavatam describes how so many demigods, they describe the prayers of each and every demigod. Wonderful to read. Please read if you have time. Brahma came, Brahma wanted to offer prayers. Shivji offered prayers. Lakshmi ji, so many elevated beings, so many elevated jivas, jo different planets pe rehte hain, various kinnaras and gandharvas and so many. Nobody was able to pacify Narsingadev. So many people offered prayers, they were not able to pacify Narsingadev. He was very angry still. And they consulted amongst each other. What should we do? What should we do? So this is the scene going on right now, and see the demigods hiding here. Like, what should we do? Brahmaji, somebody told Brahmaji, you should go. This is your doing. That Narsingadev had to come. So Brahmaji said, no way, I'm not going. He will punish me next time. I'll be the one sitting on his lap and being tore open. I'm not going. So then they said, oh, Shivji, you should go. You are the, Vaishnava Nam Yatha Shambhu, topmost Vaishnava. You should go. Shivji is like, why should I suffer for your, foolishness of giving these boons? I'm not going. I can't. This is not my Lord. I don't understand this form of Lord. My Lord is always very calm and sober and quiet. And Bhrigu Muni even hit him on the chest with his foot, and he didn't say anything to him. So I recognize this form of the Lord. Then they turned to Lakshmi ji. Lakshmi ji, you should go. You are his wife. You can pacify your husband. Look at how your husband is. So angry. Lakshmi ji said, are you kidding me? This is not my husband. My husband is always in Yog Nidra. He's just sleeping. He's just meditating on his devotees all the time. And I'm just pressing his feet. That's the mood I like. This is not, I don't know who this is. I cannot reconcile that this is my husband. So please, somebody else go. Finally, they all decided there is only one person who's fit to face Narsingadev in this mood, and that one person is Prahlad. So you can see that all the demigods are pushing Prahlad in front of Narsingadev. Ki aap jao, aap prayers offer karo to Narsingadev. Please pacify him somehow. We don't want him to be so angry. So then Prahlad approached the Lord, offered him prayers, offered him pranams. And immediately Narsingadev became quiet, became pacified. And you know how Narsingadev, think about a lion, how a lion has their paw. Paw कैसा होता है कि यहाँ पर nails होते हैं उनके, right? और यहाँ पर fur होता है. And this furry part is actually very soft, very mulayam. So what he did not touch him with this part, jo nails हैं. This is the Vajranakha that he used to tore open the chest of Hiranyakashipu. Rather, he touched Prahlad's head, soft head of Prahlad, with this part, the furry part, which will be soft. So he touched him like this, so that Prahlad won't get hurt with his nails. So then starts chapter 9. And it says, Prahlad pacifies Lord Narsimha-Dev with prayers. Today is the day, if you want, you can read Prahlad Maharaj's prayers to Lord Narsimha-Dev, chapter 9 and chapter 10. At least read the translations if possible. But I'm just covering few verses that are the key verses here. By the touch of Lord Narsingadev's hand on Prahlad Maharaj's head, Prahlad was completely freed of all material contaminations and desires, as if he had been thoroughly cleansed. Now remember, Prahlad is already very pure, very clean, right? But still, jo bhi koi impurity thi, being a jiva, that is completely cleansed by the Narsingadev's hand on Prahlad Maharaj's head. So then he offered many prayers, his heart filled with love, his eyes with tears. He was able to completely capture the lotus feet of the Lord within the core of his heart. Prahlad fixed his mind and sight upon the Lord. So देखो कैसे वो prayers offer कर रहा है. This is very important for us. This is what we want to learn here. How to offer prayers to the Lord. When you go sit in front of your deity in the temple, how do you offer prayers? What do? Fix your mind and sight upon the Lord with full attention, in complete trance. With a fixed mind, he began to offer prayers in love with a faltering voice. So his voice was faltering because it was choked with emotion and with faltering voice. And also he's thinking himself that I'm not fit to offer these prayers. But by the touch of Narsingadev, all the impurities are gone. So he's able to offer these prayers. हम भगवान को prayers भी भगवान की अनुकंपा से ही ऑफर कर पाते हैं. भगवान को प्रेयर करने के लिए भी भगवान का वो चाहिए. इसलिए कहते हैं ना कि हर कोई टेम्पल या धाम नहीं जा सकता, क्योंकि वो भी भगवान की मर्जी से ही जा सकते हो. So what did he pray? He says, look at this. This is the mood of humility in which we should pray. Not arrogance में. जैसे movies में दिखाते हैं ना, Bollywood में कौन से, I don't know the dialogue, maybe Nirbhay Prabhu or somebody can say, अमिताभ बच्चन जाता है temple, ए भगवान मुझे तो जानते ही होंगे तुम, नाम तो सुना ही होगा, something like that. That's not the mood in which you go approach the Lord. You go with humility, right? And so he says, how is it possible for me, who have been born in a family of asuras, to offer suitable prayers to satisfy the supreme personality of Godhead? वो कह रहे कि मैं तो असुर हूँ, मैं असुरस की फैमिली में, बहुत ही निकृष्ट, बहुत ही lowly demonic फैमिली में मैं पैदा हुआ हूँ. Demonic में demon, actual demons की फैमिली में पैदा हुआ हूँ. Look at my abominable father, right? कितना sinful, घिनौने कर्म किए उन्होंने. In this family I'm born. How am I suitable to offer prayers to? Nirbhay Prabhu is putting in the chat, खुश तो बहुत होंगे आज तुम. Yes, that dialogue, I forgot the dialogue, yes. So ऐसे जाते हैं ना, no, not in that mood. You should not go in that mood कि खुश तो बहुत होंगे तुम. No, you go in humility. So you're going for your own purification. So he says, even until now, all the demigods, Lord Brahma and all the saintly persons could not satisfy the Lord by streams of excellent words. उन लोगों ने इतनी अच्छी prayers बोली. Even then, Lord was not pacified. Although such persons are very qualified and they're in the mode of goodness, then what is to be said of me? I'm not at all qualified. So this is the mood of a devotee. When we get to do some services, when we get to offer arti, we should think that we are getting to offer arti. We are getting to do a service. Not that I deserve to do this. Not that I am entitled to do this. No, but because I'm being given this opportunity. So, and I'm not qualified to offer this service, to sing a kirtan, to play a instrument, or to give a class, or to offer arti, to do the deity worship. I'm not qualified, but I'm doing this because my guru, my Prabhupada, my Aradhya Bhagwan has given this mercy on me that I can, by their mercy, I'm qualified to. I had no qualification. Kalau Shudra Sambhavam, right? In Kali Yuga, everybody is Shudra, everybody is very low caste. So we are actually not very qualified to offer anything, but by their mercy, by the mercy of my superiors, my seniors, my gurus, my acharyas, that I'm able to do this service, do this arti, do this, deity worship. So in this way, he's saying, if a Brahman has all the 12 of Brahmanical qualification, look at this verse, but is not a devotee. लोग बोलते हैं कि हम ब्राह्मण हैं, लेकिन ब्राह्मण होने के बाद भी they don't have any of the qualifications of a Brahman, and they are averse to the feet of the Lord, then he is lower than a devotee who is a dog eater, but who has dedicated everything to the Supreme Lord. Such a devotee is better than such a Brahman, because a devotee can purify his whole family, whereas the so-called Brahman in position of false prestige cannot purify even himself. This is the verdict. This is the verdict. People talk about casteism in Hinduism, in our Sanatan Dharma, log caste ki baat karte hain, but this is what Sanatan Dharma, this is what Bhagavatam is saying about caste, कि ऐसा ब्राह्मण चांडाल से भी नीचे है, lower than a dog eater, जो भगवान के, जो who is averse to the lotus feet of the Lord, और कोई डिवोटी जो चांडाल फैमिली में भी पैदा हुआ है, जैसे कि शबरी, she belonged to चांडाल family. Even she is more glorious than such a Brahman who may have all the knowledge, who may know all the verses, who may know all the philosophy, but he is not dedicating his mind, body, words, activities, wealth, and life to the Supreme Lord. So that is just a position of false prestige. Such a person cannot purify even himself, but a devotee of low caste can purify the whole world. आप हमारी movement में देख लो, right? Those devotees were not born, Prabhupada's disciples were not born in pure families like Brahmin families, right? Lekin by coming in association of a pure devotees like Prabhupada, by sadhu sangha, by devoting their body, mind, and words in service to the Lord, by devoting their whole life in service of the Lord, they have purified this whole world. So Prabhupada himself purified this whole world, right? So तब आप जगत गुरु बनते हो, ना कि सिर्फ ब्राह्मण होने से. So caste does not matter. Race, gender, position in society, age, skin color, profession, wealth, nothing matters to the Lord. एक बहुत ही सुंदर वर्स आती है in पद्यावली composed by Srila Rup Goswami, which says कि वो जो हंटर था, वाल्मीकि, व्याध था, उसके पास कोई पाइटी नहीं थी, right? उसके पास कोई पाइटी नहीं थी. Still he became a sadhu. ध्रुव जो था, he was very young, he had no age, right? लोग कहते हैं कि किसी एज में आप साधु बनते हो, but ध्रुव had no age. He was very young. Prahlad similarly, no significant age, but became a sadhu. Gajendra, Gajendra was an animal, right? Gajendra के पास क्या qualification थी? He was an animal. He was not even a human. Still, Lord came to save him. Kubja was devoid of any beauty. She was a hunchback woman that Krishna exchanged such beautiful pastimes with, right? Kubja, the hunchback woman. Sudama, who was poverty stricken, who had no wealth. Vidura, who did not have a noble birth. He was a maidservant's child, right? Ugrasen, King Ugrasen, if you remember, Kamsa and Devaki's father, King Ugrasen, he had no military and physical strength, right? But just by their devotion alone, by their keval bhakti, by their pure devotional service, Lord became pleased with them. So the verse says, Bhaktya tushyati kevalam na cha guner bhakti priyo madhava. Ki Madhav ko, Krishna ko, he's pleased by all these personalities alone. These qualities please the Lord, not any material qualification. So no material qualification is needed. So this is what Prahlad Maharaj is saying, कि मैं demon family में पैदा हुआ हूँ, मैं ब्राह्मण नहीं हूँ, लेकिन ऐसा ब्राह्मण होने का क्या फायदा जो भगवान को सरेंडर नहीं कर सकता. Then then he continues the prayers. I'll cut them short a little, but this prayer is very, 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 very beautiful. Please look at this. Please take a note. This, okay, to just pique your interest. Well, let's see who is listening so far. Hold on. I'm going to take a short pause because before we do this verse, we have to know that everybody's engaged. Hare Krishna, all devotees. Is everybody able to hear well, and has any questions so far? Doubts, concerns, realizations? Anybody wants to share before we share further prayers of Prahlad Maharaj? Rekha Mataji, were you sharing something?
No, Mataji.
Okay.
I just by mistake my hand hit the unmute.
Okay. Okay, so if no questions, we'll keep going then, because this is a very beautiful prayer I wanted everybody to pay attention to. In this prayer, Nirbhay Prabhu, is the view still okay?
Yes.
Okay. So, Prahlad is saying, my Lord Narsimha-Dev, because of bodily conception of life, embodied souls neglected and not cared for you cannot do anything for their betterment. Whatever remedies they accept, although temporary beneficial, are certainly impermanent. Okay, so abhi tak I don't know if you understood anything. He's saying ki जो लोग bodily conception में होते हैं, who are neglected and not cared for by you, जो आपके shelter में नहीं है, ठीक है, वो कितना भी कुछ कर लें, they cannot really get any permanent benefit from whatever they do in life. ठीक है, तो जैसे कि एग्जाम्पल दिया है, a father and mother cannot protect the child, a physician and medicine cannot relieve a suffering patient, a boat on the ocean cannot protect a drowning man. तो ये वर्स में आता है, you can read this verse 7.9.19. तो वो क्या कह रहे हैं प्रहलाद महाराज कि हम लोग बहुत डरते हैं in this material world, right? And we try to find many ways to relieve ourselves uh, of obstacles or temporary or sufferings in this world, right? But unless you give approval, those people will not be relieved of their suffering or their obstacles. So चाहे कोई कितना भी depend करे on their father and mother being ordinary jiva cannot protect their child. If child has to go, he will go, right? Example of Chitraketu Maharaj, right? Child will go, no matter however much they try to protect their child. A physician and medicine cannot relieve a suffering patient. I do this all day, right? Every day. I cannot guarantee. I tell the patient, I cannot guarantee. I will try to help you, but it is in Lord's hands ultimately. I say that every day, 100% of the times. कि मेरे हाथ में कुछ भी नहीं है. I will do my best. I will only try. But your recovery, your healing, your outcome, whether you get better with this medicine, with this surgery, depends on the Lord. It's in His hands. I can only do my best because I am a very small ordinary jiva. So a physician and medicine cannot relieve a suffering patient, right? If Lord decides this person has to go or this person has to suffer this disease, then no matter you can blame the physician or the modern medicine or whatever, they will not be relieved of that suffering. A boat on the ocean cannot protect a drowning man. Can anybody think of a boat that was supposed to be unsinkable, yet sank big time? Who wants to share this stuff? Everybody would know.
Titanic movie, that boat. They said they was like, they said the
Yeah.
captain said that that boat is not going to sink. He made sure that it's built properly, but it still sank.
Yes, Mataji. So look at this. Prahlad Maharaj is predicting Titanic here. Titanic, you see the next slide here. Titanic was supposed to be an unsinkable ship. It was made in such a way that the people that made the boat guaranteed that it cannot sink. Not only did it sank on its first maiden voyage. ऐसा भी नहीं कह सकते कि चलो 10-15 बार हो गई थी या फिर 50-60 बार हो गया था. Now the boat was going through maintenance issues. Nothing. The first maiden voyage it sank, right? So it's not even, and it was the deadliest sinking of any ocean liner. This was in 1912. At that time, the war before and war after was going on, but this did not happen during wartime. Now, during wartime, many ships were sunk, but this was the deadliest marine disaster uh, till today. During peacetime, deadliest peacetime sinking of an ocean liner. And this was supposed to be an unsinkable ship. It was going from, it was a British ship that was going from Southampton to New York. You see on the poster, this was the flyer, the poster of the Titanic. And this was actually for luxury voyage. So many rich people, people who thought that our money, we have so much money, we can buy anything. So let's buy a ticket from Southampton to New York. We'll go to New York on this boat. So many people with so much money had booked luxury rooms on this ship, right? But when the ship, and it was a good weather, there was no problem with the weather at all. It's not like it was कोई problem थी, rains हो रही थी, कोई tornado था, कुछ और था. Sea was calm, but all that it took was a little piece of iceberg sticking out of the ocean to sink the boat. So this is what we have to remember. This is what Prahlad Maharaj is teaching in this verse. He's saying that you can make whatever uh, arrangements you want to make to get relief from suffering. You can arrange as many physicians, as many lawyers, as much bank balance, as many friends, a very strong community, a very strong defense, or border पे बहुत सारे soldiers हो सकते हैं खड़े. You can have a lot of family, wealthy family, right? Like this um, boat was carrying people. People aboard this ship were wealthiest of the folks, and about 1800 or 1500, I don't remember the number, but thousands of people died in this disaster. So no matter what arrangements you make, if the Lord does not approve, you may make the best of the plans for your protection, but it may not work out if Lord does not approve. So we are not saying don't make the best of the plans. We are not saying कि insurance policy नहीं होनी चाहिए, या physician के पास नहीं जाना चाहिए, या soldiers नहीं होने चाहिए on the border, या फिर हमारी लेकिन imagine this boat, people, they were so arrogant, they did not even put enough lifeboats. That boat had the capacity to put like 48 some lifeboats. They put only like 16 lifeboats क्योंकि हमें तो lifeboat की जरूरत ही नहीं पड़ेगी. So we should understand our vulnerability, our fallibility, that we are fallible. We are beings of this material world. And if agar God's act hota hai, some of you might have seen that movie, Oh My God, एक movie आई थी, OMG, Oh My God. उसमें था कि उसकी shop टूट जाती है, and he said this was, the insurance refused to pay because they said it was an act of God. So when act of God happens, your best endeavors will not work out. So all you can do is your best endeavor, but also at the same time remember that outcome is not in your hands. Don't become arrogant about that endeavor, and never forget to seek shelter of the Lord humbly at all times, right? So always seek shelter of the Lord at all times, and don't become arrogant by your effort that you put into that particular act. Okay, remember that you're not the only doer. There are other doers that are also sanctioning that action. So, and all this knowledge is given in Bhagavad Gita also. Who are the doers, and how does an action get materialized? But remember, कर्मण्यवाधिकारस्ते मा फलेषु कदाचन मा कर्मफल हेतुर्भु माते संगोस्तु अकर्मणि. That are in our hands is only the action, not the outcome. Look at this. The next day, the few days after, when the boat, nobody could communicate with the boat, they said, the people of the White Star Fleet said, we have nothing direct from the Titanic, but are perfectly satisfied that the vessel is unsinkable. The fact that messages have ceased means nothing, क्योंकि उनके messages नहीं पहुंच रहे थे, naval messages. It may be due to atmospherical conditions, the coming up of the ships or something of that sort. We are not worried over the possible loss of the ship, as she cannot go down, but we are sorry for the inconvenience. We are absolutely certain that the Titanic is able to withstand any damage. So this is the kind of arrogance Prahlad Maharaj is warning us against, that maybe a father and mother also cannot protect their child. So always seek shelter of the Lord. So just very important prayer that I wanted to bring to your attention. Then the next prayer is actually where Prahlad Maharaj is asking 3 things now. He's going to ask 3 things. अब Lord उनके सामने आ गए हैं. जब भगवान आते हैं तो typically devotee asks something from the Lord, right? But what he asks, what do you ask the Lord? Very, very important. So we understood that the mood of humility is very important. Always understand that you're not qualified to approach the Lord, right? In the same mood as Prahlad Maharaj said that I'm not qualified at all. And then offer nice prayers to the Lord with full focus, to please them, with a full trance, focusing your mind and senses on them. And then when you ask something, what are the things you ask for? So he says, Evam janam nipatitam prabhavahi kupe kama bikamam manuya prapatan prasangat कृत्वात्मसात् सुरर्षिना भगवन् गृहीता सोहम कथम नु विसृजेत भृत्य सेवाम. You just focus on the last line. सोहम कथम नु विसृजेत भृत्य सेवाम. नरसिंह देव ने बोला कि मैं तुमको कुछ भी दे सकता हूँ, तुमको वापस जाना है, you know, whatever you want money, you want a planet of your own. What do you want? You want a big kingdom? I can give you anything. So he said, my dear Lord, because of my association with material desires, I was gradually falling into a blind well full of snakes. I was going into kama bikamam, कि मैं बहुत सारी डिजायर्स में फंसा हुआ था. ये अपने बारे में नहीं बोल रहे हैं. रिमेंबर दैट ही इज टॉकिंग अबाउट like our position of ordinary jivas. But your servant Narad Muni kindly accepted me as his disciple and instructed me how to achieve this position, transcendental position. Therefore, my first duty is to serve him. How could I leave his service? वो भगवान से पूछ रहे हैं, मैं उनकी, आप बताइए मैं उनकी सेवा कैसे छोड़ सकता हूँ? आप मुझे इतने सारे वरदान दे रहे हैं, आशीर्वाद दे रहे हैं, मुझे वो सब नहीं चाहिए, मुझे सिर्फ अपने गुरु की सेवा चाहिए. सोहम कथम नु, टेल मी कथम, हाउ कैन आई विसृजे, गिव अप तव भृत्य सेवाम, योर सर्वेंट्स seva. So I want to be servant of the servant of the servant. And this is what, this is our mood also, that we just want to be gopi bhartu pad kamalayar das das dasanudas. That we don't want to approach Lord directly, actually we just want to be servant of the servant of the servant of the Lord. जितने आप नीचे हो सर्विट्यूड में, उतने आपकी पोजीशन सबसे ग्लोरियस है. मटीरियल वर्ल्ड में बिल्कुल उल्टा होता है. जितने आप ऊपर होते हो, जितने आप लॉर्ड होते हो, स्वामी होते हो किसी के, उतनी अच्छी पोजीशन होती है. लेकिन स्पिरिचुअल वर्ल्ड में उल्टा होता है, क्योंकि मटेरियल वर्ल्ड इज अ परवर्टेड रिफ्लेक्शन ऑफ द स्पिरिचुअल वर्ल्ड. तो स्पिरिचुअल वर्ल्ड में जो जितने सेवक होता है वो उतना ज्यादा डियर होता है टू द लॉर्ड. सो इसीलिए ऐसा बोलते हैं कि okay, well, I'll come back to that point later. But next let's see what he asks next he says, next he's showing compassion. Pehle humility show ki, now he's showing compassion. He says, my concern, I'm not afraid of material existence, because we know that Prahlad was fearless. He says, my concern is for the fools who are making elaborate plans for material happiness and maintaining their families, societies and countries. I am simply concerned with love for them. So this is the mood of a pure Vaishnav, that they are concerned for other people. That's why, Prabhupada and so many other pure devotees of the Lord, they were always preaching, they were always spreading the message of Krishna consciousness, because they're saying people are stuck in this world making elaborate plans. Is temporary guest house ko, they're thinking of it as their permanent home. This is not their permanent home. I want for them to understand this. So they're not just making elaborate plans here. इसीलिए इस दुनिया में रहो, पर यहाँ पर अपना घर मत बनाओ. This is not your permanent home. This is like a resort where you have, or a guest house, a very cheap motel where you have come to spend some time, which is full of miseries. So we need to get out of there. Don't just try to decorate the prison house that you are in. जैसे एक जेल में कोई फंसा हो और वो जेल में के सेल को डेकोरेट करने के पीछे लगा हो, या ये बोले कि मुझे रोज यहाँ पर तो दाल ही मिलती है, आई विश की दाल के साथ पनीर भी मिलता, या ये भी मिलता, वो भी मिलता. यस, वो सब भी ठीक है, but it is not the permanent relief. Permanent relief is get out of the jail, right? There is a group of people who are trying to break out of the jail. तो आपको क्या करना है? आपको उस ग्रुप में जाकर उनके साथ जेल में से बाहर निकलना है, या फिर इन लोगों के साथ देखना है कि हम इस जेल हाउस को, इस प्रिजन हाउस को कैसे अच्छा बना सकते हैं, यहाँ पे अच्छा खाना कैसे मिलेगा, अच्छी सुविधाएं कैसे मिलेंगी? इज दैट अ बिगर प्रॉब्लम, और लेट्स जॉइन द पार्टी दैट्स ट्राइंग टू गेट आउट ऑफ हियर? सो डिवोटीज आर दैट पार्टी. They are the people that are trying to break out of the jail. Let's join them. Let's join hands with them. We can get out with them. तो इस जेल को तोड़ के वो लोग निकलने वाले हैं. Let's go out with them. Then Supreme Lord starts speaking. Narsingadev says, my dear Prahlad, most gentle one, best of the asuras, all good fortune unto you. I am very much pleased with you. My past time to fulfill the desires of all living beings, and therefore you may ask for me any benediction. My dear Prahlad, you are very fortunate. Please know from me that those who are very wise. अब ये सारी कहानी कौन सुना रहा है? ये सारी कहानी नारद मुनि सुना रहे हैं. So Narad Muni is glorifying Prahlad, and now Narsingadev also glorifying Prahlad. So how glorious is that devotee जिसको उसके गुरु भी glorify कर रहे हैं और भगवान भी glorify कर रहे हैं. So Narsingadev भी ऐसे बोल रहे हैं कि I'm the only person who can fulfill all the desires of everyone. तो लोगों को बहुत ज्यादा अपनी चिंता यहाँ पर करने की जरूरत नहीं है. You don't need to be so anxious, so fearful, so entangled all the time. I am the one who will fulfill all the desires anyways. Then chapter 10 comes. Prahlad, the best among exalted devotees, he says, now he says, that I'm very much afraid of material conditions because I was born in atheistic family. I'm so attached to material desires. And you have sent me to this material world to exhibit the symptoms of a pure devotee. So Prahlad is saying कि मुझे आप material प्रलोभन मत दीजिए. I pray that so this is the second prayer. First prayer उन्होंने मांगी थी, क्या मांगा था कि मुझे अपने गुरु की सेवा करनी है, उनकी सेवा कभी छोड़ नहीं सकता मैं. Second, he asked, within the core of my heart, may there be no material desires. I pray from your lordship that within the core of my heart, may there be no material desires. So this is a very beautiful prayer to have. May there be no material desires. Then the third thing he says, third thing that he wants from Narsimha-Dev is that my father was very, very fallen person, very, very abominable, demonic. And my father has been purified just by being killed at your hands. Even by your glance upon him, he's purified. But he was unnecessarily angry at you, falsely thinking that you were the killer of his brother. Thus he blasphemed your lordship, and he committed heavily sinful activities against me, your devotee. I wish that he be executed for these sinful activities. तो उन्होंने अपने हिरण्यकशिपु के अपने फादर के सारे सिंस काउंट करवाए और फिर बोला कि प्लीज उनको लिबरेट कर दो, प्लीज गिव लिबरेशन और प्लीज एक्सक्यूज हिम. सो नरसिंहदेव बोलते हैं कि तुम्हारे फादर का तो क्या कहना, तुम्हारे जैसा डिवोटी अगर किसी फैमिली में हो तो 21 generations of that family are liberated. So this is one more reason to become a devotee, that 21 generations of your family will be liberated. 21 forefathers in your family, because you were born in this family, the entire dynasty has been purified. तो अगर प्योर डिवोटी होता है किसी फैमिली में तो नरसिंहदेव ने प्रॉमिस किया है कि 21 generations will be delivered. Then Narsimha-Dev says, one who always remembers your activities and my activities, who chants the prayers you have offered. So that's why I'm saying, chant these prayers today. They become free in due course of time from the reactions of material activities. Narsimha-Dev बोल रहे हैं कि जो ये हमारा पास टाइम याद करता है और तुम्हारी दी हुई prayers को chant करता है. Because हम लोगों में इतनी capacity नहीं है. We are not that intelligent, that pure to compose prayers of our own. So typically we just chant the prayers that are offered by pure devotees before us. Then he says, Narsimha-Dev keeps on glorifying Prahlad. He says, those who follow your example, that is why we have to follow example of Prahlad, will become my pure devotees. You are the best example of my devotees and others should follow in your footsteps. So Narsimha-Dev ki direct instruction hai yahan par that those who follow your example will become naturally my pure devotees. So this is our example. We should follow the character, the personality, the prayers, the teachings of Prahlad Maharaj. And वो अपने आप ही फिर प्योर डिवोटी बन जाएगा. And this is, look at this verse. This verse, Lord is chastising Brahma ji. Oh Brahma, oh great Lord, born from the lotus flower, just as it is dangerous to feed milk to a snake, so it is dangerous to give benedictions to demons who are by nature ferocious and jealous. I warn you not to give such benedictions to any demon again. तो यहाँ पे नरसिंहदेव ने ब्रह्मा जी को warn किया है कि आगे से ऐसी benedictions नहीं देनी demons को, because they're very ferocious, very envious people, and they use them for harming other people, not for their benefit. So I'll take another pause quickly here and see if anybody wants to say anything before we do just a few more things. We typically do class on Sunday. This time we'll have class on Saturday because I'm working Sunday, so we'll have class on Saturday. And we will continue a little bit more on Sunday. We'll read the teachings of Prahlad Maharaj on Sunday. So on Saturday, sorry, on Saturday. So if people are free, please join. But let me see if anybody wants to share anything. Let's see, I'm going to have to ask people to share if they're not sharing, because the whole point of doing a Hari Katha is to think about it and have realizations, have some connection with it, and decide on what you want to change in your life, or which teachings, what you like best. So let's hear from somebody. Let's hear from if Vinay Prabhu is available. Some of our new members will see if they will like to share. Vinay Prabhu or Shalini Mataji, would you like to share something?
So actually, I have a So is it the end of the canto, or like I want to also know, like, does Prahlad Maharaj actually, I mean, what happens like after this? Right? I mean, so far, whatever we have gone through, I mean, we all kind of know also. But what happens after this? I mean, does he actually rules the kingdom? Does he leaves and he goes in the forest and becomes a yogi, or like what is the future?
Yes, Prabhuji. So Prahlad Maharaj actually becomes the king. He and Narsimha-Dev gives him the benediction that you would live until the end of the whole yuga. So actually the whole cycle, and then the Prahlad Maharaj's reign, or his how he's a sovereign, how he's a ruler, how he's ruling also comes. So then towards the end of the canto, a few chapters are dedicated to Prahlad Maharaj's rule also. And he has kids in future. He does not become like a sannyasi, but he has kids in future, and even their pastimes also come in other cantos of Srimad Bhagavatam. There is a whole planet which is ruled by Prahlad Maharaj, and actually in canto 5, the prayers of the citizens of that planet are mentioned also to Narsimha-Dev. Their Aradhya Bhagwan is Narsimha-Dev. So, but we don't focus on that part. For us, this part is more nectarian because we are trying to be in the mood of, learning. As a student, we're trying to understand how we should pray, what we should learn from Prahlad Maharaj, and the actual pastime of Prahlad and Nursing happens until this part. So this part is the one that is most focused on. So actually chapter 6 of Canto 7, chapter 9 and 10, 6, 9 and 10. These are the three that we should focus on. बाकी किसी के साथ क्या होता है, that is okay for story purpose, but it is not for enlightenment purpose, or it is not for getting much, it does not invoke much realizations, or तो जब कोई कथा होती है तो कथा can be on the level of entertainment, a level of enrichment and enlightenment. Entertainment is just कि कहानी बताइए, जैसे कि रामायण आती है इस पे बहुत लोगों ने बहुत रामायण बहुत महाभारत सुनी है, but actually they don't get any realizations out of it because nobody tries to understand the teachings or the principles mentioned in those pastimes. So when you focus on those principles and teachings, then we get some enrichment because you understand the philosophy. Why Lord comes, why is he doing this particular Leela with this particular devotee, why is the devotee behaving like this? And when we try to apply those in our life, then we start having the manifested knowledge or realizations. तो ज्ञान जो है वो विज्ञान बनता है by applying it in our life, which is called enlightenment. तो इसलिए हम इन शुरू के 10 chapters पे ज़्यादा focus करते हैं. But yeah, everything else is also mentioned in Canto 7. Thank you, Prabhuji, for sharing and asking that question. Anybody else would like to share? Let's see, Rekha Mataji, Jagrati Mataji, Ketki Mataji, would any of you like to share? Okay, I'd have to pick one. Ketki Mataji, would you like to share something? Okay, so since everybody's shy today, let's do a few more things. Let's do a few more lessons, and then we'll try to wind up. I'll just wind up in another 10 minutes. Give me a few seconds here.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you so much for the class, Nectarian class. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mataji. You want to share any realizations or understandings or questions or anything?
No, I'm listening. Thank you.
Okay, so we'll just do a little bit more. So this we already talked about, art of praying. We should understand from it. So Srimad Bhagavatam is full of prayers, like Gajendra ki prayers aati hain, Kunti Maharani ki prayers, Bhishma Stuti comes, right? So we should pray, and we talked about the mood in which we should pray with our body, mind, and words. Express our humility, but also share your weakness and limitations with the Lord. So this is very important. When you're sitting in front of the deity, you're sharing, you should share, this is the problems that I'm having in my services, or in my, this is the anartha, anger or greed or whatever I'm dealing with. and show your weakness to the Lord, because weakness is not a problem. Weakness is not an obstacle, but cheating, cheating or trying to cheat the Lord is a problem. So expressing your weakness and limitation to the Lord is actually very purifying. That's where we get empowered by the Lord to fix those weaknesses, to fix those impure desires or anarthas. So I have just taken, just for a few minutes, the contrast between Hiranyakashipu and Prahlad. So you know that Hiranyakashipu was a very materialistic person. He had many, many desires. He wanted to become immortal and the unconquerable king of all the universes. He wanted to be free of old age, death, disease, everything. He wanted all mystic powers, all yogic perfections, everything. So he even wanted to take the post of Brahmaji. Now, what he's trying to do here is he tried to bend the rules of this material world, the rules that are set by the Lord. For example, death is a rule, or he's trying to defy or bend the laws created by the God. जैसे हम बोलते हैं ना, as sure as death. So death has to come. But when you try to overturn the established rules or practices, reverse the laws of material nature, that does not that does not end well. जैसे आप लोगों ने किंग मिदास की स्टोरी सुनी होगी. किंग मिदास was a king who asked the Lord that I जो भी चीज को मैं टच करूं वो सोना बन जाए. Now this is against the rules of material nature, but he was able to do that because he asked that boon. And when he started to eat, जैसे उसने खाने को टच किया वो सोना बन गया. But you cannot eat, so now he's not able to eat, but you have to eat to maintain your body. So by defying one rule, he's now suffering because there is a imbalance between other rules. Then secondly, he touched his daughter and she turned to gold. So he cannot, so she basically just not living anymore. Right? So in this way, these rules or laws are put in place by the Lord for our benefit. जैसे कि कोई parent है वो अपने बच्चों के लिए rules या laws लगाता है, and when the child goes against them, it can be harmful for them, right? You tell your child not to accept anything to eat from strangers, let's say, right? And child says, oh, they're not letting me eat something from stranger. This person is giving me a piece of cake, and my parent has told me not to. So that I'm going to defy that. I'm going to break that rule and eat. And that may be a big problem, right? You may get into a big problem. Do not put your hand in a burner, right? But the child is, oh, this fire looks very fancy. It has so many colors. It is making a cackling noise. It's warm. It looks very inviting. Let me put my finger in it and see what happens. So some rules and laws are put in place by Lord for our protection, for our maintenance, for our benefit. When we try to defy them, actually it is not very beneficial for us. जैसे Holika also had this boon, कि she cannot be burnt by fire, right? She was Hiranyakashipu's sister, but she was also using it to harm someone. So not only you get these boons, Hiranyakashipu got these boons, but he was using them to harm other people, to torture other people, and for self-gain. So not only you bend the rules of material nature, but also you're misusing those powers that are given to you. So those are the big mistakes by Hiranyakashipu. And it is said, more tears were shed from the prayers that were answered than from the ones that were unanswered. So कई बार it is good that Lord does not answer some of our prayers, because actually we don't know what is good for us. When we ask things from Lord, we are driven by bodily conception, by our short-term mentality. We just look at short-term gains. So we are just asking what is good for our limited time. हमको ना तो past, present, future कुछ पता है. We don't know what we deserve. We just ask what we need in that moment, and that may not be the good thing for us, right? So we may ask for dangerous या unwanted things, and if those get fulfilled, then it can be a big trouble. That is why it is said more tears were shed from the prayers that were answered. जैसे कि एक बार क्या हुआ, एक lady जा रही थी, उसने बहुत, it was very hot, it was scorchingly hot, sun was shining very bright right on her head, and she was carrying a very big load on her head and going like that. तो तभी उसका वो इतना बड़ा जो उसने भारी चीज उठाई थी वो नीचे गिर गई. And she, as she bent down to pick it up, spontaneously she said the name of the Lord, and Lord appeared in front of her. And he said, oh, did you call me? What do you want from me? She said, can you help me put this load, this burden that fell on my head again? I'm not able to lift it up and my back hurts. Can you put it on my head again? It fell off. So Krishna or Lord, obligingly put it on her head. And he went away and she went away. When she walked a few steps, she realized, I just had an encounter with the Lord. Lord himself came in front of me and he asked me, what do I want? And I asked him to put this heavy load back on my head. Is that what I wanted really? So this is what we are doing in this world. We are asking Lord for these burdensome things, for these things that are actually causing more burden, more entanglement, more problems for us. So be careful of what you wish for. And remember that he knows the best. So that's why devotees are not in a mood to ask too many material things from the Lord. Devotees typically, pure devotees don't ask for material fulfillments and desires from the Lord. And if they have some desires, they try to use them also in service of Krishna. But typically on a routine basis, they don't bother Lord with the small material desires. And Prahlad here, I'll just make 1 or 2 points and then we'll stop. Prahlad here is one of the 12 Mahajans, right? Prahlad is included. So there are 12 great devotees of the Lord. They are called Mahajans, and he is one of the 12 Mahajans. So he is called a Mahajan because he is completely opposite to Hiranyakashipu. He is not just looking out for self-gain. He is looking out with humility and compassion at the gain of other people also. He was very tolerant, right? Hiranyakashipu got so angry when Hiranyaksh died, but Prahlad did not even get angry when he himself was being tortured by Hiranyakashipu. He was so tolerant in the face of provocations. And he was always remembering Krishna. So those of you know, there is a Navda Bhakti process. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Pad Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atmanivedanam. We don't need to do all the 9 processes. We need to do just one process diligently and we can perfect our life. So Shravanam, for example, was perfected by Parikshit Maharaj. Best example of hearing, Parikshit Maharaj. Kirtanam, perfected by Shukdev Goswami. And Smaranam, perfected by Prahlad Maharaj. So Smaranam ka jab example aata hai, to Prahlad Maharaj ka example aata hai, because he was always remembering Krishna. And this is the rule given in our Vedas. Smartavya satatam Vishnu vismartavya na jatchit sarve vidhi nishedhasyur etavyoreva kinkara. Smartavya satatam Vishnu. He always remember Lord. Vismartavya na jatchit. Second rule, there are only 2 rules for devotees. Always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. Bas yahi rule hai. And all the other rules, sarve vidhi nishedasur, all the rules are subservient or servant to these 2 topmost rules. तो इसलिए वो स्मरण करते थे. इसलिए जैसे अभी हम बात कर रहे थे कि हमने कथा किया, अब हमने सारी बात की, और we also talked the other day, right? We did so much, discussed so much, lessons. We had so many lessons. But unless you meditate on those lessons, unless you chew on them, जैसे आपने खाना मुंह में डाल लिया, लेकिन आप खाने को chew नहीं कर रहे, unless you chew the food, it is not going to get digested. It is not going to nourish your body. It is not going to fortify your body. So just putting the food in the mouth, just hearing is not enough. You have to think about it. उस पे मनन करना चाहिए, उस पे ruminate करना चाहिए. So chew, manan on what you have heard, absorb it, and then apply it. So hearing or shravanam, jaise hum kar rahe hain, without smaranam will not help much. So think about it. How can I use this? Can I start remembering Krishna in everything? Can I start seeing Krishna? Can I start understanding Prahlad's pastimes and Prahlad's teachings and prayers? Am I be acting like Hiranyakashipu? Do I have tendencies like Hiranyakashipu? How can I curb them? Can I take shelter of Lord in this situation like Prahlad did, like that? So in this way, you can, the knowledge, if you apply and if you serve the Lord, the devotees will become vigyan. From gyan, it will become vigyan. Abhi kya hai, wo gyan hai. Lekin jab wo realizations mein badalti hai, to wo vigyan kehilati hai. So I'll stop here. I won't continue any further because we are running out of time. We just have a little bit more of this, and next I wanted to cover the teachings of Prahlad Maharaj, that I won't have any slides for that. We'll just read from Bhagavatam directly. That will be for our regular class on Saturday. So once more, who wants to share? I'll pick some different people now. Let's see who wants to share. Neelveni Mataji, Nirbhay Prabhu, Anybody wants to share? Rajni Mataji, please share any realizations. Anything you learned, one point that you learned that you would like to share.
Hare Krishna Mataji, can I share?
Yes, Mataji, please.
Yes, Mataji, the one point I learned is that no matter what, like whether you are happy or whether the situation is like not very favorable, always remember Lord, like Prahlad Maharaj did in all the situation. He had faced so many difficulties, but still he never left that remembering Lord. So that one thing I learned. Hari Bol, Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you, Mataji. Yes, thank you for sharing. Who else? Let's see. Nilveni Mataji, you want to share anything?
Hi, Hari Bol, Namaste, Mataji. Nothing, just.
Okay, I think you said something, but I missed it. Not just what, Mataji?
Nothing. I am blessed to be in the part of this one. That's all.
Oh, okay, okay.
Hari Bol. Hari
Very
Bol.
good. Thank you, Mataji. Okay. Okay, anybody else would like to share anything? Mataji can't hear
Namaste.
you. Yes, Prabhuji, aap Rekha Mataji, we couldn't
हाँ.
hear you.
Okay. Hold on.
Hold on, Mataji. Vinay Prabhu is sharing. Can you share after him?
I'll put in the chat. I'll put it in the chat.
Okay, okay. Go ahead. Yes, Prabhuji.
Actually, हाँ, sorry. मैं ये शेयर करने चाह रहा था कि one thing that I learned from Prahlad Maharaj is his trust and confidence in the Krishna, right? मतलब उनको जिस भी situation में रखा गया, उनको इतना confidence था कि मुझे भगवान बचा लेंगे situation से, right? और उन्होंने इतना बड़ा trust था उनका, मतलब कृष्णा के ऊपर कि कोई भी situation सामने आए, I mean, he had full faith on the Lord, and he just gave up and he just did what he was good at, which was, bhakti.
Yes, Prabhuji. We'll cover more of that next time. So nicely you mentioned that point. Very, 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 very important point. Actually, that is the crux of this matter, that being Krishna confident. So thank you so much. I'll elaborate more on that point also next time. I had some more slides that I couldn't share today. Rekha Mataji is saying, I want to share the same thing, to take shelter of Lord Krishna and remember Lord all the time. Yes. Okay, so thank you everyone for joining. Anybody else wants to say anything? Last points. Rajni Mataji, would you like to say something? I know you regularly hear Bhagavatam. Okay, I think we'll stop then. I get some more messages in the chat here. Okay. Okay, thank you everybody so much for joining. I'm very, very grateful to each and every one of you. This is such a wonderful opportunity today to take shelter of Lord. Just sit in the front of DT for a few minutes and express your, weaknesses, limitations, spiritual desires, anarthas, and for request for purification, and just surrender to the Lord and ask Him for, proper knowledge and realizations, and to show us the right path. And may Lord Narsimha-Dev on this beautiful occasion kill all our impure desires, kill all our desires to enjoy separately from the Lord in this material world, kill away all our anarthas, give us the proper service attitude, humility, and mood of shelter and mood of surrender. With that, we'll stop. Granth-Raj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
Right. Mataji, Hare Krishna Mataji, Rajni
Yes,
here.
Mataji. Yes,
Yeah, sorry, there was some technical difficulty. I couldn't answer it previously, but I would like to say thanks to you. I was just speechless with the, nectarian words from the, seventh canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam. You described so beautifully the glories of Prahlad Maharaj. It was really, I'm really blessed today to see all the glories. There is one thing that just I want to share. Maybe it's too early, but there is one comment here that the Prahlad Maharaj was so much confident about the surrendering himself to Krishna. What I think is the blessings came from his guru Narad Muni. So because of his guru was so great and close to Krishna, he got all the true knowledge from him, and that he know all the what's good for him and what's not. He know all the realities of the life. That's what I want to share with you, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji, yes, very wonderful point. Very, very wonderful point. He was always grateful of what he learned from Narad Muni. He was always thankful. That's why he wanted to serve Narad Muni, even when he asked for a benediction from Narsingadev. So we should all be attached to, a pure devotee. Understand their teachings, and that is what qualifies us. किसी ने प्रभुपाद से भी पूछा था कि what was our qualification that we came in contact with Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, names of the Lord, we are eating prasadam, we are chanting, we are dancing to the names of Krishna. So Prabhupada said, you had no qualification, I gave you the qualification. So that is the qualification. We get qualified by the mercy of our gurus. Otherwise we have no qualifications on our own.
Yes, Mataji. And Mataji, another question is that is your conference only for the for the appearance of the Prahlad, the Narsim Dev, or it's still going on? I'm not aware of it. Is it on a regular basis every Saturday or Sunday, or what? Or
Yes,
just a special?
Yes, Mataji, we do Bhagavad Gita class on Sunday morning. But when there is appearance day, we do extra classes on the day and then before and after also. So but typically on Sunday morning, and then whenever we have a program, home program, or the day of appearance, disappearance, just to focus our mind on the Lord, so we're not worried about fasting and stuff.
Oh, okay. Mataji, can you please send me the link of your regular Sunday class in the morning? What time you guys do?
Yes, Mataji, I'll share. You are in EST, so for you it will be 10 a.m.
Yes, okay.
We are
okay, Mataji, I did not know about that. So please do share with me the link.
Sure, Mataji, I will. Yes, Hare Krishna.
Okay. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
So what Mataji described is called causeless mercy. बिना किसी cause के आपने ऐसा कुछ नहीं किया कि you deserve anything, you're qualified. इसको बोलते हैं causeless mercy. नारद मुनि ने भी causeless mercy की थी प्रहलाद पे जब कयादु को बचाया था, right? So causeless mercy of devotees gives us the devotional service actually. Hari Bol. So we'll stop here. Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Mahamotsav Narsingh Chaturdashi ki jai.
Jai.
Bhaktavatsal Bhaktavatsal Bhagwan Narsingadev ki jai. Bhakti Shiromani Prahlad Maharaj ki jai. Hare Krishna Vancha Kaltarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Guruve Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaya Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tad Bhaktaya namo namah. Jai Shri Radhe Ishyam.